Hey, this is Darkon633, and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Lost Age Darkside Soundwave figure. Now, Soundwave is kind of a slightly controversial figure in terms of Hasbro in America, because they never released this mold, nor the Human Alliance mold in the States, so pretty much there was no way to get a Dark on the Moon Soundwave unless you're getting like a Cyberverse or something at the time. So it's really unfortunate that we didn't get over in the States, so the only way you were able to get it is importing it to Japan, and unfortunately all the original ones soon after became extremely expensive on the secondary market, and it was almost impossible to get no matter what, so it's pretty much a lost cause. Now, I'm happy that Takara decided to release the figure that actually was shown during one of the Hasbro panels. I think it was back in 2012 or something, during BotCon or one of the other conventions at the time. They were actually going to release the Darkside Soundwave in America, but once again, the Soundwave was shafted, so we didn't get any Soundwaves at all. Now, Takara actually decided we were going to release that said Soundwave and the Wheeljack, which we soon found out after this figure was announced and released. And there was, I guess, an easy way so people can get at least one version of the Soundwave. Now, the original Soundwave, although was accurate in terms of, I guess, trying to be accurate in terms of, like, the dark silver-ish, kind of grayish, I really didn't like the paint scheme of that either way, because it was a really dulled-out paint, since it wasn't a full-on Takara version. It was just more like they released the Has version, and that's it. But this one has a very nice, darkish, almost sound black. I know it says Darkside Soundwave, but a lot of people and pretty much confer that this is actually Sound Blaster, but just the black and red repaint of Soundwave. Now, the problem with the Soundwave here is that he doesn't have any weapons, so the only major problem getting this figure is that it's good that, yay, we're finally going to get a Soundwave figure. The problem is we're not going to give you any weapon to go along with it, so it's kind of like a lose-lose kind of deal here. To quickly go off with the box, since we talked about the figure here, you have a nice shot of Soundwave and a really weird styled hole punch kind of thing. I don't know how Japan's storing these figures on the shelves and all that, especially since if people wanted to get a figure and all that, it would be a pain to pull it through the little metal pins and the hooks and all that. I don't see why they would just put a hole punch. They just should just put a hook like that. The only thing I can kind of see is good here is that with this, they'll stay on the shelf a little longer without it actually tearing as much and all that. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm just not really too fan with the hole punch. It says here Transformers 4, even though, sorry, can I lie? Obviously, there was no Soundwave in Transformers 4 since he was killed in Dark on the Moon. Is Mercedes car on the front. Just another design on the side. The back, it shows the other products like Dino, which I was going to get, but then it's just a full-on repaint of Sideways. That mold kind of sucks. And then Ratchet here. And then it says here it becomes a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG mode, so it's really nice. On the back, it says here in the bio, as Decepticon plans enter final stages, Soundwave has descended to Earth. He continues his surveillance duties, spying on both Autobots and the Decepticons, ensuring that there's not even the minimum chance of failure. So, yeah. The only thing that kind of gives, I guess, kind of nod that he doesn't have any weapons is that the figure released in the previous line, obviously, since the mold came in Dark of the Moon, French of the Fallen Soundwave, didn't have any weapons either. But then again, he never went to Earth. He was just in satellite mode. He didn't even have a robot, so. But I guess I can kind of give it that at least it gives you a slight nod that this guy didn't have any weapons, and so did this guy. The heads, after looking at now, looks pretty close to what they were doing with the head sculpts. But just taking it to the side, we'll now go over the articulation points. His head is on a ball joint, so allows full movement. Now, and it kind of bend in, but that's just due to transformation. His arms, shoulders should stay on ball joints. His arms can swivel up on the wrist here. bend back, like a double jointed backwards and slightly forwards depending on the way that you move the arm due to transformation. No wrists, but it's on a ball joint here as well. That's the reason why, because it's on a ball joint there, so it allows full movement there. No waist, but his legs are on ball joints, so it allows full movement outward. His upper leg can swivel. 90-degree joint there. Actually, it's a little bit more than 90, just slightly more than 90. His feet can kind of pivot due to transformation. And that's pretty much it for the Soundwave, which is actually pretty good. Now, I guess you can kind of count this weapons per se. It's not really. What you can do is actually pull these panels out on both sides. You have to kind of get in there. You get these kind of sonic disruptor kind of designs there. So I guess you can kind of consider that a weapon. Not really. And you just easily slide it back in. So that's pretty much it for robot mode. It's really nice looking robot mode, really nice red design. It's got silver all over, and let me see if I can get the, what's it called? It's got light piping, yeah. It's got light piping. Let's see if we can get it on camera. There you go. Light piping. Now, going on to the transformation. The light to get there. Going on to the transformation, what you gotta do is pull up the arms. So it's like that. So you just kind of pull them upward like that. So it looks kind of weird now. Let's pull up these little foot panels here. So now they collapse in there. Take it out to the sides, and there's these little pegs that peg onto the sides there. Just pull them both out and lay them out like that. So you got something that looks like that. Now what you're going to do next is unpeg the chest component. And that will free the entire upper body. So it looks like that. You just kind of move it outward. Then, what you're going to do next is unpeg these little side panels here. They peg in pretty snugly, so you have to be a little careful removing them. Can be kind of a pain to remove at times. Kind of just need to pull them forward and then pull them out. So now you got that freed. Move everything out of the way so you allow you to move components around. What you're going to do is then feed the head through the component there, like that. Lay it flat so you almost got the front of the car here. Just move everything aside and peg it together. Once you get everything situated up there, as you can see, you almost got the entire front there done. What you do now is pull the hood backward like that. So it's kind of like a convertible kind of style, but it just turns transformation. Let's peg that down so it looks like that. Now what you're going to do next is now position these so they face this direction. As you can see, you almost got the full car mode already. Now, oh yeah, I forgot. Sometimes I forget to do this first. What you're supposed to do is actually put this down so that it goes into the component here. So it looks like that, and now the chest component's out of the way. Make sure that you got everything aligned up here. This part can be kind of tricky. Just to align everything around. That, sorry about the lighting. Alright. And using the double jointed elbows, make sure that these pieces here, come on light, work with me. It's a very dark figure, so it's hard to see in the light sometimes. These components face like that. Turn these around and you're just going to bend them into the arms. like that. Bend them in like that. Make everything back to here. Push the panels back up. Then what you're going to do, make sure that these are out of the way here. Removing the components. So yeah, Soundwave can be kind of tricky to transform at times. So you have to play around with it a bit. Make sure that these panels slide down. Sometimes things get stuck in the way, so it doesn't allow you to fully move it. So as you can see here, you almost got the full car. Now what you're going to do is, there's these little red clear pegs. I'm going to peg it to the holes there, down there. So if you get it all together, looks like that. So now you almost got the full car, as you can see. Just peg the side panels to sides there. Let's get everything back into place. And then, once you get all the panel pieces together, this guy's got a lot of paneling. Put everything to places. Otherwise things won't work as well. Then you have Soundwave in his Mercedes mode. Now I really like the deco that Takara has given this version of Soundwave. It's going to zoom in. Let's move the lights so I'm getting camera frame. So yeah, it's a really nice design of a Mercedes. The wheels all turn really well, and it's got really nice silver paint on the hubcaps. It rolls really well, so okay. It's got a really nice, mysterious kind of design up here. So I really like the paint deco they actually gave this figure over the movie accurate one. Just too bad he doesn't have any weapon to go with it. As you can see, since it is just a repaint of the original mold, you can see the little pegs that would Ben put in so you could put in the mech tech weapon. But since this weapon isn't present, they're just there because the original mold was being used. So you got a really nice Mercedes Benz logo there. It's even got a smaller one back here. So it's got a very nice amount of details with all the Mercedes things. Obviously, the Human Alliance one can actually open and close like the one in the movie, but this one can't. But it still really does nice for what it does. Underneath, you can see there's a lot of robot cable. You can see the panels that became the arms and the head down there. And some of the legs, so it is still a really nice figure. To transfer them back, what you're going to do is unpeg the panels here so you can at least free most of the parts there. So it looks like that. Then what you're going to do is bend this up. So now you got that freed. Turn these little panels around. Free the arms from inside. Make sure that you unpeg everything first. Sometimes these things get quite stuck when you... Okay, there. It's free. Pull out the arms so that they're outwards like this. So it looks like a mess kind of right now. Better if you get it in frame. Let's see. Now what you got to do is make sure that you turn these around. So now you're forming the feet once more. Situate them so that they peg into the side of the feet, legs like that. Pull out the feet panels. On the sides, as mentioned earlier, these little pegs that are on the side of the doors that peg into a hole that's there. So get that done, it pegs in. Both sides. So now you got the legs done. Pull out the chest panel. Side. Then what you're going to do is pull out the head. So now it's like that. Push down the panel, what's it called? The grill. And you're going to turn these so that the panels can actually fold upward like that. Then you're going to make sure you push this panel all the way down. And push this as far as you go up to. Then turn these little pieces around the arms. I'm going to situate them in a way so that these bend outward. Like... It can be kind of tricky because the little wheel pieces on top. If you situate them all correctly, you would move it in the correct positions. So put this out. So now you almost got the full robot. Okay, there. Sure that these face in a particular direction, so you allow them to move them out of the way. This part can actually be a real pain to get together. Okay, so you're actually supposed to make sure that it turns all the way around, so you allow it to get out of the way. So there. Ah, finally. Okay, and then you just pull the hands outward. And it looks something like... that. Okay. Finally, yeah. Sorry it took so long to get to this. So, Soundwave is a really nice design. I really like what Takara did to design the figure, and it's unfortunate that Hasbro never brought it over for the Dark of the Moon toy line. And this little back paddle piece I don't really like, since it can be quite a pain to move around. It's kind of a nuisance. But the figure itself is a pretty nice representation of Soundwave, and I'm glad I got it from Takara released this and all that. This one I actually got from Amiami, so it is on the slight pricey side since retail's about $25 or so before shipping. But if you really want a Soundwave and don't really care that it doesn't come with a weapon, then I say go for it. Otherwise, it's hard to being picky about the Soundwaves now since this mold has been out of print and this is the only really way to get it otherwise. So it's pretty much all up to you. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, check out Toko News, Hirotaku, Raijin, and the channel down below, and I'll see you YouTube. Bye.